Hello, everybody. It's Mr. C here from Iroko Critic, and welcome to Nollywood Film Club. Another episode 4. So I didn't give you the timestamps for the good, the bad, and the summary from the last episode. It's in the description for this. I just thought I'm not doing that every episode. It's gonna get tiring. You don't want to hear that. You just want to hear me. You want to hear me chat to you. That's what you want. All right. So for this episode, um, this movie we discuss. This is the beginning of what we call I see the intentions. It's I don't think I quite decide to ban that saying here or put an X for it. I actually praised it in this episode of something worthy, something nice to do for the films we're talking about. But as you'll see later on, at some point it just gets tiring. But look out for I See the Intention. Miss DSF is a revelation in this movie. Um, at some point, I think I will talk about a Premiere Pro, which is an editing software disaster. The link to that tweet, I'll talk about the tweet in the podcast, is in the description also below, so you can check it out there. But yeah, if not, I hope you enjoy and forgive my lack of enthusiasm, especially at the beginning. But enjoy Nollywood Film Club discuss the perfect arrangement.
Anyway, hi everybody. Welcome to Nollywood Film Club. We discuss Nollywood films every week. Films, quote unquote, for this week, because this week we're talking about the perfect arrangement, which is an Inkblot production. Came out this year. We'll be going through the good. We'll go through the bad, and we shall give ourselves the summary of what we thought of this at the end. All right. Let's start. Who wants to go first with the good?
I can go.
Okay.
I don't have a lot to say.
That's a long pause. Yeah, go on, please, Vanessa. Help us.
I have maybe 3 goods, and that's debatable. Like, it took a lot of me to come up with something. But I like Umi Baba Ahmed, the actress who played Tade's mother. She's a very fine actor who I hope doesn't end up typecast by Nollywood. She genuinely deserves better. She deserves the world and the opportunity to explore different characters beyond just being a mother in Nollywood. I'm sure she's done something maybe different from being a mother, but like in Halita, she was a mother. I can't even remember what she was in Sons of the Caliphate as either, but I fear she's becoming typecast, and I want Nollywood to give her a chance to do more than just that. Um, Warfi Fada, who's Lottie is her name? I don't know. She wasn't perfect. She didn't give the perfect performance, but there were occasions during this whole travesty that she gave me something. I think she has a lot of potential. But it appears that Nollywood has also refused to give her anything beyond the funny slash fiercely loyal friend and supporting character. Um, I would delve more into that, but but I wish they would give her more of a chance because she has potential, and if given the chance to do more than just be the fiercely loyal friend and supporting character, she'll be great. My third like is great gowns, beautiful gowns on Umi Babamet. I don't know about the rest of the fashion, especially from our fashion designers, but Umi Baba Ahmed looked spectacular, but she always looks spectacular anyway. But like Umi Baba, I was looking at her clothing, I'm like, I want to be a rich auntie, not necessarily a rich mommy, but I want to be a rich auntie and dress like Umi Baba Ahmed. So those are my goods.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Vanessa. Mel?
Hi. Um, I have very limited likes. As well, I think my first like would be that Bovie's smile was really charming. And I thought that in the parts where it mattered, it helped his character come across as really charming as well. I thought it was I generally think that his smile is really beautiful. Sharon's as well. But I think that specifically for his character, because he was supposed to be sweet talking, I thought that having such a beautiful smile helped his character come across as charming. And then my second like that I can think about right now would be the song that we start off the movie with. I thought it was I thought it set a very nice tone, especially because the movie tried to be upbeat before it gave it up. So I thought that was a very nice introduction to just the upbeatness and the I guess like the random chaos of like the editings that like I thought that lended energy to all of that. So I think that's about it. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mel. Cynthia, do you want to give us the things you...
Oh yes. Oh yeah. So my first like is I think there was a scene where to me Salami finally got the Hausa accent, and I was very happy because it sounded like my friend. Then I also have DSF, like when she kept drinking the vodka, her ability to maintain beauty was also something that I could pick as a like. Then okay, so I like this particular scene when they went to the bar and Bovie and Sharon sang Running to You. I think that scene gave friendship vibes and I was smiling. Then I also liked there are a few times Sharon and Wolfie friendship banter made sense and I was like, okay, I could bear with this, like it was not bad. Then I think I'm quite not sure, but in the club scene, it felt like their audio was correct. By correct, I mean like it was noisy. There was a club scene that I felt like their audio was correct. Like it was the music was loud, but their voice was low. So yeah, I mean that's all I liked about the movie.
Yeah, I know this is not the bad, but I would say about that club scene, I know what you mean, but they're still speaking to each other like they can't hear that music, and that music is added in post, which didn't make any sense because, like, if you're in a club, the music is loud. What you do is you shout to the person. But yes, I guess kudos for whatever.
But it's right.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, Anika, do you want to say what the things you liked?
Yes. Oh, sorry, I'm setting up for something. So the things I like, the movie was okay, I guess. No, the movie was okay. There were times where it was very charming. Um, I. It's not that I don't like it. I do like these things, but I do have some side things to say. I will definitely say, Sharon's acting was okay in many scenes. In many scenes, it was she. I can kind of see she kind of carried the thing. Like it wasn't to that. The I I guess I like the not necessarily like I find it interesting the general mashup of this movie because I think it's a romantic sub story type of movie, but it has political family engagement thing, and it's like a very mashup of something, and it's something I've not seen before the way it's done. So that's that. And the editing choice, I guess it's also interesting. The editing choice is interesting. Some of Sharon's outfits are really cool, are really nice, but there are always like exceptions. Like these are things I do like, but I definitely think there are things that could be better about them. Um, the actress that plays the best friend, what I don't know.
What's that?
Yeah, she's pretty good. I would have to say the chemistry between the cast, like the sample cast, did well. They did well. It conveyed what the movie is. Like, I think she did very well. Bovi acted in this. I don't see Bovi when he was actually acting a character, which is like, okay, he knows how to act. Because I remember last something like, oh hell, he's actually acting out in this. And there are many times where he does get the character and like it conveys it well. That's something that you like about this movie. The movie is competent technically. There's not too much things that are so outrageous. Yes, you have to take the fact that this is Nigeria and some of the sound design, it can be quite why. Um, and No, the sound design is choices, not like sound issues. There are some sound issues, but okay. But like some of the sound design is like why, and some of the sound design is like, okay, makes sense. Cool. So yeah, those are some of the things I can think up the stuff of my head that I liked right now. Like I guess I like the story. The dialogue is not bad. The dialogue is not bad. The dialogue writing story is different than also writing dialogue because sometimes the story can be good, but the dialogue can be just cringy, and the dialogue is not bad. So yeah, those are some of the things I like about it.
All right. I look forward to my bad side where I say everything Yinka said was good, was bad. Mariah, tell us some of the things you liked.
So, did you say me?
Yeah. Sorry, yes, this movie is just got me on a downer today. Just a little bit of a downer, but we're started saying things we like. Let's be upbeat.
Okay. I think one thing that took me a while to realize was that um, Mr. Macaroni, he was very easy to dislike. So that was good. I mean, he wasn't really supposed to be uh, a, like an antagonist in some ways, but he played the would I say domineering, but he played that kind of overbearing brother very well, especially for the kind of character Tade was. Like she could get under his skin, but especially with the way he talked to his wife. I mean, he's just an influencer at the end of the day, but he really was always talking about business and knowing everything. But he was very easy to dislike, and I thought he did quite well. Um, I think Sharon's behavior matched her character. Now, whether that character arc makes sense, I'll save for later. But um, the behavior she was exhibiting and the sort of whininess, the petulant immaturity made sense. So I think it's good if that's what they were going for. Um, I think, as Vanessa said, many gowns were indeed beautiful. Um, And I think that made sense for the kind of person she is. She's living in life of luxury. She has everything she wants. So I think it hit a lot of good rom-com elements, like the voiceover when they played, I don't know what name they called it, but the game they played um, when Chidi and Tade went to play I played it as tag rugby, but that game they played, that playfulness, when he said when
Tag football.
tag okay, um, when the guy asked him, "Is she worth it?" He's like, "Yeah, she's worth it." It felt like they were hitting some good rom com moments in those times. So I thought, okay, there were a couple of boxes being ticked. I liked some of the shots of Abeokuta. I thought they were really nice when you could see some of the rocks. I thought that was really pretty. Um, And, there was just, as I was watching it, I said, many people need to receive piping hot slap. And when one was laid, I said, okay, that's going to be a good for me because there was just a lot. I was very stressed watching this. And so when Cheta slapped Chidi, I said, okay, some order has been restored. Not enough slaps for me, but one was good.
Okay, thanks, Mariah. That's to get in there. Elizabeth, what did you think of? What were the things you liked in The Perfect Arrangement?
I think that I really like the what's it called? It's got like some beautiful frames. So the colors are popping, and then I like when the choice of dress kind of either contrasts with the walls behind or the paint behind. There were moments like when they went for the dinner. Was it dinner? Was it engagement dinner? Whatever it is, Sha introduced their engagement or something. She was at one area. She was wearing a red dress, and the paint again was red, and there was a frame hanging. There was also one frame where um she met Cheta at the on the stairs, I think at her office, and there was like colorful butterflies behind her. I think like there are times where the frame is beautiful, and I really appreciated that about this movie. What else did I like? Some of the older people's performances were convincing enough to carry the movie. The acting is not always there, but when people are acting, it sort of like stands out. Okay, and there's another person's acting I like, even though I don't know if people agree with me, and that is Miss DSF. So she's playing a subdued role, and you can see it in her character. You know, she's the quiet, supporting wife with an overbearing husband. And she's in that role. You can see she's confused, she's quiet, she really cannot, talk to her husband. I think that role is good because, oftentimes you see DSF in a role where she's the bad bitch, she's the boss babe or something. So this is a welcome. This is a
Oh, might have lost Elizabeth a bit. Okay.
Can you hear me? I'm sorry, I'm in a noisy place.
No, it's okay. We can hear you.
Shots outside. I know I've mentioned it before. Any shots outside Lagos is a welcome idea. So yeah, I like Abeokuta too. That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, Miss C, did you what did you like?
I'm going to repeat.
Sorry, I forgot Eddie Young. Eddie Young, yes. Hey, what? Oh yeah, no,
Yeah, bro, what's up? Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so before I go on to say what I loved about the film, I just wanted to say there was this fine girl I saw on here, and I was like, oh, who's this fine girl? And I saw I was blocked. Please forgive me, I don't even know if we ever communicated, but you have to find to block me because thank you. So back to the business. So no, I'm not shitting my shot. I'm just saying she's fine. I mean, I don't want to be blocked by a fine girl.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So what did I like? I really love the idea behind the cinematography. I don't know if it's me being biased because it's my guy that did the cinematography, honestly, but I feel like watching it, it was like I could see the intention and I could see the whole idea behind the cinematography. I love the colors for most part. Um, I couldn't tell okay, we're talking about the good, so yeah, let me concentrate. Love the colors for most part of the film. Um, I think it's one of the best club. I'm talking about cinematography and the lighting now. I think it's one of the best club scenes we've had in many of our films in terms of getting that club setting right, in terms of colors and the pictures, obviously. So honestly, what else did I like? Bovi, I think someone talked about it too. Although it was a struggle for me, it's not the first time I'm seeing Bobby take up something serious, but for some funny reason, it was just kind of a struggle because of the way he would do his eyes. But I think it worked a little bit. So that's it.
Thanks, Ali. I would say if you like the cinematography, because I've seen work that you've done. I would say it's because you're biased. Yes, your friend. But then again, I don't know. Then again, yeah, there's some films you think the cinematography is great.
No, I like the idea. I like the idea behind it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. The idea behind. All right. Kamsi, go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. What I like about this movie, I think I like the what's her name? The main character's mother. The main
Vanessa, what's her name? Yeah.
Tade.
Main character's mother.
yeah,
Oh, the mother, sorry.
I like
Okay.
Shola
Her real name is Umi
Umi.
Ahmed.
Okay. I've seen her. I think she's been decided to cast.
Kamsi, we're losing you. Y'all losing you. All right. Mrs. C, go whilst Kamsi is sorting out his network.
Okay. I'm gonna repeat Miss DSF. I know someone said it, but I think she was my favorite part of the film. Not specifically the character; it was her. Because we've been talking about like the comparison between her Man of God performance and this performance, and it's like I know an actor is supposed to be able to give different performances, different characters, and all that, but we don't always get that. So it does stand out that she does that, and she is quite versatile like that. And I would like to see more of her. What else? I feel like I like the idea of
Idea. If
idea
you hear idea,
again.
drink.
Yeah, I like the idea that just because your friend's in love with you, right, doesn't mean you have to be with them. I think if the story had been better told, that whole thing could have worked instead of going with the trope of, my best friend in love with me. Okay, we have to be together, right? Like my best friend's wedding. Remember that? Yeah. But yeah, that's about it.
I mean, one thing I've noticed is a lot of people saying they like the idea, which I think is what you do when you're trying to grant charity, when you're struggling to find things to like about this, which is why I like Nollywood Film Club. I know people tell me you guys hate us, but that is you guys struggling to find the good, and I appreciate that because you have to give charity, especially if you're going to talk about some of the less good things, the awful things in this more candidly. All right. Having said that, my part. I'll say Miss DSF again. Revelation to me. That's the only reason why I don't regret watching this film is because that I knew she was great in Man of God, but I did not know that range existed in there. And when I say the range, I'm not even just talking about, oh, she played an out and going person here, and now, oh, she's playing no, like I believed her in this, like the mannerisms in here, and I'm not talking about just the things on the page on the script that she repeated. The mannerisms in here are completely different from what was in Man of God. And it should seem like a no-brainer, but like we don't have many. I don't know if I can count. I can count on one hand the amount of Nollywood actors I think can actually achieve this currently on one hand, and Miss DSF is genuinely out there. I would say because of these two performances, she's honestly one of in my head now. She's like one of the best talents we have going forward. It's a shame she doesn't. She's not in more things. Other thing that I think I liked. I think there are a couple of scenes that if they were done by surrounded by better stories and better characters and better acting and better sound design and a bunch of things that would have been better, that those scenes would have worked really well. The problem with even talking about scenes like when they go to um, what's the sort of the bar where they sing the bar where they sing the yeah, right. So there are moments. There's a couple of scenes where I think that thing can in a different film that works, and with better actors, better sound design, and all of that. So there are some yeah. I don't even know what to say because I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying I could see how it could be good.
So the idea.
It's not the idea. There's something there. It's just not fleshed out. So anyway, that being said, let's get on to the bad. We did well. Okay, so I might just, it's not like I'm starting off, but I did tweet something earlier on about some of the editing that was in this film, and I know somebody said it was a mistake, which mistakes happen. I get it, but like the lack of supervision in a film. Apparently, this didn't make it to the cinemas. This was a strictly on Prime thing, but like a file was missing, and they loaded an error message into the film that made it on Prime. Look, I know right now Prime is the dumping ground of some type of movies, but like I've never seen that on Iroko TV. I've not seen this anywhere else. This is not something that should be happening. If that were the only problem with it, with the editing, you know what, I would go, oh no, the editing was good and this happened. But no, the editing is full of this ADHD having comic book transitions that don't belong in a rom-com. It's
comic book transitions can work in a rom-com.
It's not this one. It's very like the way those transitions are is for something that's action packed. It's fast pacing. Is like, oh, this just happened. Guess what's gonna happen next? Like, oh, we're moving on next. This transition we had here is nauseating at times because like it's, and then it doesn't matter if it's a stylistic choice. I know it's a stylistic choice. They didn't do it by accident. I'm just saying it doesn't work. The flashbacks, they're having flashbacks for, yes. We're having flashbacks for things that happened like 5 minutes in the film, which anyway, I shouldn't be starting really, but I said I was just going to do the one thing. All right, we're going back to the audience. Sorry. Vanessa, you can start.
Okay. Dislikes, right? The stuff, the bad. Can I say everything? No.
Maybe leave small for others, and if
No,
if
I'm like, can I say that everything is wrong?
Okay.
Wait, let me know. Okay, but seriously, this film is an affront on the romantic genre, and I took it very personally. I'm overheating because I don't even know where to start. Okay. Pretty much everybody in this film, save for like maybe one or two people, and that's maybe generous, are so unlikable. And maybe the save for one or two people is maybe Mr. Macaroni because that's who his character is supposed to be. But like, how do you create characters that I cannot even root for? Especially when the anchor of like a romance film is that I'm rooting for someone or someone's to get together. And I can't even do that because I don't like them. I don't like them. I'm sorry. And what was the? No, okay. I'm trying to organize my thoughts. The plot holes in this film are like craters. I, I, I'm going to leave the plot holes for others. The characterization, Uncle. What are our leads' motivations? Why is Sharon's character so willing to sacrifice on herself on the altar of family pride? We weren't shown anything from the beginning of the film, first act, second act, whatever, that shows us that she's that type of person who's willing to sacrifice herself for her family. The marriage, Mr. Macaroni's character, as much as he was intended to be, I'm assuming that his character was intended to be an a-hole. What was the point of that marriage? I'm portraying, because that marriage was horrible, I'm sorry. I'm portraying it, I don't know if it was in the car or whatever, the scene in the car with his wife and his half-assed, I don't even know if that thing counts as an apology. I don't know, why did they portray that marriage as anything less than a marriage heading for divorce? Because that marriage did nothing to aid the progression of the story. I don't understand the point of it. Speaking about motivations, I don't understand New Nollywood's obsession with reporters and investigators that are so very clearly a caricature of a Hollywood investigative reporter or investigative journalist. And this reporter in this film has added to our recent long list of reporters and investigators from FIWara in King of Boys 2 to detective kí lorúkọ bàbá yẹn Charles àbí Charlie àbí from which place in Glamour Girls. It's like, and then I don't understand where the revenge motive, they just threw it like a wrench in the works. It wasn't that she was trying to do her job, or is that she's the type of reporter who cares only about the truth. No, it was motivated by some silly revenge plots that really didn't hold any water. I want to know, what about Chidi drew Tade to him initially? Why was Cheta so apparently in love with Tade? Because that one self not to make, because there was zero chemistry and not even friendship wise, because that friendship came off as like one-sided. That man was just a simp whose life apparently revolved around Tade. And I want somebody that around the making of the film, I want somebody to explain this by force twist of Tade choosing Chidi so much that she chased him down. Because you can put pepper in my eyes and blindfold me, and I will still not buy that nonsense. Because even again, I don't even buy her with Cheta. So how can I buy her with Chidi? Like, this plot twist is even more painful for me, and physically so, because it messed with one of the most important tenets of romance and the rom-com genre. Like, how do you sell me in the beginning a friends to lovers story and then switch it to a friend's older brother whatever story, especially when the friend's older brother and the lead have zero chemistry and are so unbelievable together? Like, I cannot believe that these people actually care and love each other that much. Like, it's like you can't even sell it. I'm sorry, how do you, for what? For a twist? I'm sorry, romance films are supposed to be predictable. That is the point. That is the actual point. You do not then throw a wrench in it because I want to do plot twist. It doesn't make sense. Respect the genre. I'm sorry. It's just really upsetting. It's like Nollywood seems to do romance without respecting the genre. The genre exists for a reason, and the genre is so popular and loved by each other, by a bunch of people around the world. Romance books, plays, films, even music, for a reason. You don't mess with the fundamentals. And then all this film was doing was messing with the fundamentals of a rom-com. Don't even get me started on the acting. Oh God. Everybody, and maybe I'm going to upset some people because Oyinkan's was already annoying me small when she said Sharon was carrying this film. Everybody except maybe Umi, and on a few occasions in very small scenes, Wofi, were deplorable. Okay, and maybe Miss DSF. maybe there are a couple people who act as small, Miss DSF, and maybe Mr. Macaroni on occasion. I don't even know. But the rest, nah. I like Bovey as a comedic actor. And like the first act of My Village People, I really enjoyed his performance in that. But as a romantic leading man, I'm sorry, no thank you. I mean, Sharon, Bovey, and Pere couldn't even fake the tiniest bit of attraction to one another, which is like the barest minimum for a romance film. I'm of the opinion that Nollywood needs to have a come to Jesus moment as to what affects its misguided opinions on what a lead actress looks like, especially in romance rom-coms, and what that is having, the effect that is having on the quality of the acting in our films. Because I don't know if they know this, and I'm tired of biting my tongue, but Sharon Oja is not a great actress. She's not even very good. She's okay. I will gladly take the heat. I will take all the smoke, but Sharon Oja is very one note. And even when she tries, her expressions are either very overly exaggerated or the other extreme. She just looks like she's reciting her lines, and you can see her eyes basically read the lines in her head. That's how it comes off. And as the lead of a film, the quality of her acting and the quality is what determines the quality of the overall cast. It's largely dependent on how her acting, on how she performs. And we can see how that turned out with the rest of the film. I genuinely pray that Nollywood understands that a romantic lead doesn't have to be light-skinned, straight-sized, and conventionally attractive. Because we have incredibly talented actresses who are and should be leads in our rom-coms and can actually act. I'm sorry. You can't keep trying to sell Sharon Oja to me as this actress extraordinaire where she can barely hold a scene. And it's becoming upsetting because she has a beautiful face and a beautiful smile and a beautiful body. Her face is made for TV. And it's not just her. The large crop of our female leads, especially in romance movies and rom-coms, cannot hold a scene. Cannot. And I need Nollywood to genuinely talk to themselves, come back around one way and ask themselves if this misguided opinion on what a female lead looks like is not negatively impacting our industry. Because in my opinion, it is. I don't know. I'm tired of going on and on, but this film was incredibly disappointed, especially as a romance stan. It genuinely hurt my soul physically. Like physically, I was hurting. It took me hours to go through this film, and I'm sure for a lot of people it took them days. But yeah, no.
Oh, thanks, Vanessa. Well, thanks, Vanessa. Well said. I don't know. I don't know whether it's. I don't know whether people do think. Maybe some people really do think Sharon is a powerhouse of an actress.
The thing is, I feel like if Sharon was a better actress, like Nollywood would be hers, right?
Yeah.
Because she looks like a movie star. You get what I mean? She looks like it. I just wish she could carry it. Because as much as my biggest gripe with this film was the story and, the script and all of that, I feel like if we had a stronger lead, it wouldn't have hurt as much to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just remembering that scene where she kissed him when she was drunk.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even get tipsy from that scene.
Yeah.
Right? I wasn't getting someone who'd had even one drink.
Yeah.
And if you can't sell me drunk, even if it's like the most exaggerated Nollywood version of drunk, if you can't give me that.
Yeah. And it's not like that's not important because it's the reason why she kisses him, right? And like, so we're supposed to buy that, she wasn't in her right mind, right? When she does this, but there's no part of me that thinks that she's not going to remember this or she's not even, it's just Sharon. Anyway.
Can I defend myself, please?
Oh,
not
it's,
yet.
it's too late. It's too late.
Let me
Sorry.
defend myself.
No,
Let me
not yet.
defend. Let me defend myself. I am also a fan of the romance genre. I consume a lot of it from a lot of different places of the world and love this. I don't think personally, I don't think she let me tell you, when I started watching this movie, I was like, what's going on? I don't personally think that she what I meant by Carrie is like sometimes you can see the smile, the beauty. That is like she's the type of person that you put in a romance genre anywhere in the world because she's beautiful. Now, the issue about the acting, I don't think she's a good actress. She might grow to be a better actress. She needs to get more training. But also, I do think that also a good part of acting that we see in movies is also about how does the director direct them? How do they frame the cinematography? How do they frame the scene? What is the music like? What is the atmosphere like? All those things, I think it definitely failed her because a lot of romantic leads all over the world are not necessarily good. They're not picked. Romance leads are never picked because they are good. This is as old as time. Even like what's her name? Kay Francis. She's an old Hollywood movie star in the 1930s and everything. If you read everything, everybody kept saying all that said she was not a good actress, but she looks good on film. And also she never chose to take roles that are like beyond her capacity. Kay Francis has a lot more charm and charming. Like one of the things that I think Sharon Argent is losing is that she doesn't have she's not doing charismaticness. She's not going based on her charisma. Right? She's not going based on her charisma. And I also think that the framing of the movie, like the directing, the atmosphere created by the backside of the crew of the movie does not help her because they have to do a lot more work to help the beautiful actresses. Most the beautiful young actresses.
I actually agree with. There are two things. I think I actually agree with you in what you said in terms of what a lot of rom-com leads are like. They don't have to be amazing and great. They're usually slight. They're not. It's because like I guess a lot of the really talented and like the people who have gone to the acting school, they don't particularly love to do. They don't even really like to do rom-coms, it seems, right? So I understand that, but like I think what people are skirting around is that I think Sharon's bad, not
Yeah. I'm not going to deny that. I like what I meant.
But that's the difference. That's an important thing. So when people are saying, oh yeah,
she could be
like
better.
Because like the romantic lead, if you're you should at least be fine,
But
right?
also this
attractiveness, right? Like you don't have to be Meryl Streep, right? But you need to be all right. Yeah. You need to be able to convey drunk to in a
I
scene.
think what she's lacking is charisma.
No, I think lots of charisma. I think
so.
talent.
I personally think she is.
But charisma is important for.
Yeah, I think she. I don't think she's. I think she can become a good actress. I didn't like Alex Okubo. I swear, the first time I ever saw him, and he's become good, and he has a certain sliver of something that he normally takes, and he's very good at that. She can become a good actress, no problem. She can express more. The thing is that the director did not stop her and said, "Look, this thing does not come out the way you have to go. You have to go back and do it. Go back and do it. Go back and do it. Go back and do it." I don't know. So
I think the difference between what we're saying is that I think maybe I don't know. Maybe you think she's okay or fine for this, and she'll get better. What we're saying, or the people who have said, is like she's not good. There are people who can do this better.
Yes.
That's it. Like,
I agree with that.
I feel like she could play the quirky best friend while she improves.
I think the best role Sharon Aja has done is like King of Boys thing,
exactly.
where she was played up as a fine girl who was like sort of a honey trap for yes, and she was a cameo. She didn't too much to do, not too much to handle. She played it and she did that fine. I bought her as that.
She's not a good actress at all.
But anyway,
she's not a good actress at all. But can I now say my bad?
Yeah, let's get around to some people. We'll come back to you where you can say all your pieces. Atas, what do you want to say? You missed the good side. I don't know whether.
No. How horrible. Okay, so well, I guess my goods were that what's the lead woman's name? Her character's name? Tade.
That's right. Yeah. Tade,
Yeah. So
yeah.
Tade's mom's outfit's very pretty. Yeah. So the bads for me, I think that they try to make everyone into sort of a hero in a way that was disjointed. So it's like they wanted the two brothers fighting over the girl to be good guys, and they wanted the girl kind of stringing both guys along to also be a good, like, it was just. And then the reporter's backstory from God knows where, it was just hard to follow. Like, none of them were likable, I think. Tade wasn't likable. Like, she's stringing along God, I've forgotten everybody's name on purpose, but she's stringing along her best friend, and then she agrees to marry Chidi, but then doesn't take the time to actually tell her best friend that this is happening, and just kind of lets him find out when he finds out. And then she does the same thing again when she pulls out of the fashion thing, where she doesn't tell the other person involved what's happening. Everybody just finds out when they find out, and it just doesn't make her look very, like, it just makes her look very narcissist. Like, she's just doing things that affect other people, and then just expecting them to just roll along with it as it happens, and that was very hard to look past. And then best friend as well. I don't know what he does. I don't know why he's in the story. I think he just spends the entire movie pining. He doesn't have any purpose. Chidi is deeply unlikable. Oh my god. I don't know. I don't know. The reporter is special, and I found that it required like a lot of suspension of belief for how a rich political family in Nigeria would react to this random unknown reporter suddenly harassing them every 5 seconds. They just kind of let it happen, and like no one cared, no one did anything other than mention it a couple times. It was very painful. Overall, nothing made sense. I think there was no chemistry between any of the characters, not between her and Lottie, not between her and Chidi, not between her and her best friend. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I need to piggyback off that. I think this might but like, she was deeply unlikable. I feel the need to echo that. And that was the worst part about this film for me, was how unlikable she was. And the film never acknowledges that she's doing awful things. And that was the worst part of it for me, is because we've seen no, the film never acknowledges that she's a terrible person.
I think there's a part where she was her best friend Lottie,
even then she's still the victim.
No, but she never admitted it, she never acknowledged it, and Lottie moved on from it immediately. Lottie moved on immediately. There was no resolution. She had no consequences to her actions. She was awful. So we've had leads that are not always like the best people, right? If we go back to My Best Friend's Wedding, right? Julia Roberts' character is trying to ruin her best friend's wedding because she's in love with him, right? And she's like, yeah, I'm in love with my best friend. I'm going to ruin this and we're going to be together. And it blows up in her face, right? And his fiance confronts her, right? And there is this acknowledgement that, yeah, shit, this thing you were trying to do was really shitty.
Yes.
Right? She doesn't go to hell for it, obviously, because she's not fundamentally a bad person. She just did bad things. But it's acknowledged, right? This character, there's no acknowledgement, no accountability, nothing. She cancels a fashion show that she didn't have to because she has a partner who could handle it. She cancels it, and while this person is like, you went over my head with this, she's like, I kissed Chidi and I almost killed you. Mad!
Like what the hell? Why?
Who cares? And then throughout, she keeps going on about how, her family, Lottie's like, why are you doing this for your family? Why are they doing all this selfish? She's like, yeah, if I thought about it, I wanted that. And like we see her father go, no, I will not let you sacrifice yourself for our family. We see her asshole brother go, no, this is a terrible idea, right? We see her repeatedly go, no, I think it's a great idea, let's do it. It's all her idea, and then she's all, oh my God, woe is me, my family is making me do this. Shut up. I liked her less than the vampire boyfriend from Still Falling, right? He was an awful person, and I liked her less than I liked him, because at least the movie acknowledged that what he did was awful, and he had the good grace to die. So, justice.
Right, yeah.
Sorry, that was a rant. Oof.
Okay.
Oh, wait, there's more.
Okay.
The reporter wins, like, I don't know, she gets a what? French page story or wins something, but for what? Why? Like, what did she do?
Don't know.
Don't know.
Did they leak the thing to her? Is it?
The thing
I don't
with
know.
Lottie is they don't even frame the thing with Lottie as revenge, like where she sends in the thing that she pulled from this guy's
it's
phone
not revenge.
magically.
It's not trying to
It's
save
not
her
even
best
revenge.
friend.
It's I'm saving my best friend, and it's like
Because it's all about her. Everything is all about her. Oh yeah, sorry, I missed this. Oh, side note, Dika said to tell you guys that My Best Friend's Wedding is the best film ever.
Then listen to Dika.
But side note, right? The thing with Cheta, her best friend, is awful. She's so cruel because she opens this film telling us, "Oh, he's been in love with me forever."
And I've always known. I think
I've always known.
Yeah.
She says this. She knows this. We'll forgive her for going ahead to date his brother. She kisses him. She says, give me time to adjust to this idea. She gets engaged to the brother immediately. She does all this with the expectation of him still sticking around. She finally decides to marry the brother anyway, not for pretense, right? She decides to get together with him anyway. And he comes and does this whole, sometimes to get what you want, you don't, you can't always have anything. And it's like, it's a healthy thing to do, right? To take this space away from this. And she's like, get together, what do you mean? Hey, you're going to sit down there and, you're going to do that. We're going to be besties and all that. So dismissive. And the film just puts it there. And this is a nice, happy ending. She's awesome. She's going to keep around this man that she knows is in love with her. She has teased, and then she will marry his brother and have him attend the wedding while being there for her as an emotional support simp.
Why? All right. If you have something to say, use the hashtag Nollywood Film Club. If you don't want to come up to speak, you can either ask questions or make challenges. All right. I haven't put up.
Sorry, I have a quick question. Did the family get the $10 million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They said the settlement wasn't affected.
Yeah, they had to. The poor family had to settle for $10 million.
Oh, tragic.
Yeah. All right. Kamsi, you didn't. We lost you last time. Let's see whether we can get you this. Yes, I can.
Okay, I think this film, everything failed. Almost everything failed. The screenplay failed. The actors and the directing failed. The sound failed. The music failed. Almost everything failed because I was like, what's happening? At the point, it felt like they were like acting like, okay, please, let's go to the next scene. Please, let's do the next scene. The dialogue didn't work out. People don't speak like that. If an actor if one character said something and I think I have the idea of what the other character should reply, but the reply was like, okay, what's going on? Why are they talking like this? And everything felt rushed. God. the dialogue was awful. Dialogue of that film is awful. And at the point, I felt like the political drama overshadowed the romance. The political drama overshadowed the romance, and I didn't know. I was like, okay, am I watching a romantic movie or am I watching a political drama? And at the point when Sharon agreed to marry Bobby, I felt like at the point she was trying to, when they were playing, was it rugby? They were playing a sport kind of, and she was pushing him away. She was being, she was reacting somehow to him, and I thought that you agreed to marry this person, and you guys are putting up a show. So why are you acting like this? I think I was confused, and the scene with this guy, this big like that guy, I felt like, okay, well, why do we have that thing? Because I don't know how it's connected to the Inkblot. And the plot with the subplot with the reporter, and at the point they were saying Christine Amanpo, they were just saying it over and over. I was like, okay, why you guys say this thing? Why are you repeating this thing? I don't know why they had that subplot. I don't know the reason for
Who lost Kenzie again?
that.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now.
I said the reporters, as in, we don't need their backstories. The backstory for the reporter girl, I think they were calling her Christine Amapo over and over, kind of irritated me. I was like, why are you guys saying this over and over? And I think that comedian guy, I don't know his name. I keep forgetting his name. This activist, his acting was just overbearing for me. I think he overdid it. Personally, I think he overdid it, and maybe the script failed them. Maybe the screenplay failed them. That was why I felt like he overdid it. But God, for me, this movie is awful.
Okay, no, fair enough. Some pushback coming in using the hashtag Nollywood Film Club. Angela said, I guess this is in defense of Sharon. She played Jasmine in TMC well. Mariah was saying, I don't think the transitions and the perfect arrangements don't fit in a rom-com. They're just deeply outdated. I remember them being used for montages in early 2000s. Ricky says nobody knows what happens to Jetta Wells. I can't remember what happened at the end. Just him taking pictures at the end. Right. Okay. Yes. Want to send in your comments? Use the hashtag Nollywood Film Club. Who did? Elizabeth, do you want to say some of the things that you didn't like in this film?
Okay, thank you guys. I'm sorry I'm on the road, so you're going to hear a bit of wind, air, or something. Okay. So first thing first, I'd like to say that I am very disappointed in how the director handled this kind of delicate romantic story. And I'll use delicate in the sense that this is 2022. If you're going to write a script about somebody, if you're going to shoot a script about somebody liking two brothers, you're going to have to shoot it as delicately as possible without making your protagonist out to be an asshole. Now that's very, very important. So let's go back to the this is not the history of romance, but let's talk about it. First, casting. Why do you cast for romance? Personally, I believe that romantic movies are actually harder to act. And then if you look at the history of romantic movies, leading men, really popular leading men always go ahead to become like very popular actors, and then they sort of know how to own their skills. When I first saw the casting for this movie, I think on Shock NG, and it was, hey, I saw the perfect arrangement, Sharon, Uja, and Ruby. I remember quoting it with, whose idea
was it to cast Bovi and Sharon Oja together. In fact, from that very first casting, you have failed, whoever you are. That's some level of mega failure. I don't know who that person is. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what they ate. Well, I know what they were thinking. They were thinking money. Let's cast the movie so that funny people will think it's funny and come and watch. But that's nonsense, please. So let's talk about one of the most popular romance is Pretty Woman. Do you guys know why Pretty Woman works? And it's because of the casting. Richard Gere and what's her face again? Julia Roberts.
There. Oh.
Before Julia Roberts, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, before then, Julia Roberts has already, I think she has been cast in Mystic Pizza. She has the face for TV. Richard Gere was already the lady man in A Gentleman and a Lady, and it was it was an awesome performance. They did not do screen tests before they casted these guys. They did not do screen tests. They just had the names and they had it pegged because not only was Pretty Woman, or rather is Pretty Woman the most popular romance, it went ahead, won awards, made so much money way before the blockbusters. Another one was Notting Hill. When they were going to cast Notting Hill, it was also Julia Roberts, and before then, I think Hugh Grant had already shot Four Weddings and a Funeral. Correct me if I'm wrong, but again, Hugh had that charisma for the character they were looking for. So you're looking at popular faces, beautiful faces who can carry romance without breaking their backs. Now, we've established also that Sharon Uja is not exactly a terrific actor, but I refuse to believe that, she wouldn't have taken a part. I believe that to a certain extent, right? If she had enough on-screen chemistry with her partner on screen, there are lots of things that you would have forgiven. And she had these very shots. Again, I critique her a lot, especially in what's it called, Glamour Girls. But in sorry, I forget now. This 1% of the 1%. What's the name? What's the name of that movie? Oh my god, I forgot it.
Is it Chief Daddy? I don't
No. It was one of those ones about the bling Lagosian. She had this really short subplot with yes, it was bling Lagosian. She had this subplot with Alex Ekubo. I thought that was a very nice story, and Alex Ekubo and herself had like a modicum of on-screen, chemistry. It was really good. Now, first mistake this movie made was casting Bovi. I don't care, man. Why would you cast Bovi? Already in Village People, I mean, Village People, we thought it was a good enough parody movie. Not good enough, rather. People had a problem with it, but him working that, I even still had a problem with him in Village People because sometimes the joke just doesn't land, even though the dialogue was, had brilliant lines, witty lines, but sometimes when he says out of his mouth, it does not land because it's not Mr. Bean. But now we're talking about romance. You're supposed to have like see the first couple of screen during the opening whatever sequence, I was cringing bad. I was like, hey God, I watched this movie for 6 hours. It was so difficult because every time I see him and Sharon on screen, I'm cringing. That should not happen. And I would like to say that I blame all of you that voted for this movie because me, I voted for Fine Wine. We could have been reviewing Fine Wine right now, but no, are we doing that? No, we are reviewing Perfect Arrangements. Anyways, moving on. So we're now the director, whoever you are, decided that he would take this story, as delicate as it is, and decided to give us the most unlikable cast. Not the cast is not the cast is not unlikable. I meant the characters. The direction was so bad. Somebody thought to themselves like, oh, let's go with shifts, because the tagline, the synopsis says she's free spirit. I don't know who decided to interpret free spirit as asshole, but somebody in that room thought it was a good idea, and somebody ran with it. So you started off with, as Mrs. C said, you started off with, oh, he's my best friend and he's in love with me. But first, she's conceited. you've established that as a considered person. So there is no way the audience is going to be rooting for her. In fact, at that moment, I was mad. I was pissed. Do you guys know the reason why K-dramas are popular is because they know how to nuance the context and to make you feel, even though at the end of the day, they will give you one hug and a kiss. And then you are there, you're shedding tears. There is something that's similar. There's a story, I think it's uncontrollably fond, where the lead kind of like liked two brothers. It happens, but you realize that at the end of the day, that is not the same kind of liking, because sometimes it could be romantic, other time it could be platonic. I've lost the words. Anyways, point is, this movie did a terrible job trying to do anything. Somebody had already pointed out that Cheta's character was the same. You said they were friends. We did not know they were friends except for when she declared it. She goes, "You're my best friend." I'm like, congratulations. Thanks for the information. Every single time she says it, I'm like, hey, you are friends. Since when? Nothing indicates that they're friends. Nothing. I know that people have talked about the gigantic, plot holes, the disjoint. First, it's not even the plot holes. It's the fact that it is disjointed. 1 minute you're telling us one thing, another minute you're doing the another thing. I'll take for example that scene where they went to Olumoro. My father and my God, what was happening there? First, they went with cameras. Why did they go there with cameras? Why? Because Chidi said it at the dinner, at the engagement, that the reason why they want to go to Abeokuta is like, they should get to know each other, blah, 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 whatever, for this engagement thing. And then they were in the house, they were talking about how, Tade just messed them up, blah, 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 blah. Next thing, they went to go and shop for Adire, we're not even sure about that. And then the next thing, they were at Ulumo with cameras. Why are you there? Are you tourists? Are you shooting reality TV? Why exactly are you at the Rock, man? And the next thing, in fact, that entire thing was a joke to me, because I didn't know what was going on. Oh, who said this? Then you're Pochi, your brother. And then I say, oh, you don't have the nerve to ask out. Where did that come from? And then there was Oba, who probably didn't like his sister because she's annoying to us too. But why did you not like your sister? Why are you nasty to your wife? Why are you just all of these things? These characters do not have backstories. They do not have motivations. There is no nuance to them. There's no context to them. And I'm so gutted, because I really like the romantic genre, because I think all movies are romantic. And I think it's escapism, and it helps people. And then you ended up giving us something. After long and short is that this is a shoddy job. It is annoying. Please do not shoot another romantic movie. You're not good at it. Sorry, not sorry. Thank you.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Mariah, do you want to say the things you didn't quite like about this?
So, as everyone has said, these characters are unlikable, but I think even before the characters, the whole plot. Sorry, is this one not corruption that they are doing? Because fake dating, fake marriage is it can be cute, it can be fun, but it's not necessarily illegal. But this film, I'm supposed to be rooting for people doing something like corruption. And okay, this journalist that realistically would have been disappeared the minute she released or tried to release that a hit piece. I don't root for her, because nothing she does makes any sense, really. And then her side plot doesn't make sense. The I don't know, sort of environmentalism or that side plot being added to make sympathy for her. It's like, okay, the fact alone, I'm supposed to be rooting for people doing something that feels underhanded, and like we're doing backhand political deals. You've already kind of lost me. If there was some other less, I don't know, dubious reason, it would feel a little easier. And yeah, like, Tade is annoying, But the whole plot feels kind of, I want the rich people to continue being rich. Yes. And I want, like, okay, the journalist going for them as well. Why go for just the oil people when you know it was the criminals? I mean, really, this is a government issue, but you're here. There were just so many times where, yeah, plot holes. And I didn't, the point of the whole main film, I didn't really want to happen because it didn't feel right. It didn't happen in the end, but Tade kind of got what she wanted in the end, and that didn't feel right. I couldn't work out if there was any outcome that would feel satisfying because this plot just wasn't a plot I feel like any, I say, normal person would want. The company that's been benefiting from, extracting the natural resources and then people are suffering. I don't know. It just didn't add up for me. The club scene, the club scene really, really got on my nerves. It was so heavily contrived because a rapper in Nigeria exhibiting misogyny, that one will finish him. Come on now. When they've been exposed for doing far worse, evidence is there. And you think posting something like that will finish it? Come on. Come on. It was just, it just got on my nerves so much. And Cheta is standing there. Isn't that the woman you love? You're just there. And that one was supposed to say, oh, I have pregnant girlfriend. The fact alone he's in the club with pregnant girlfriend, Instablog should be reporting that one instead of nobody will care about him talking about your bum. Why don't you big enough? Say he's in the club when he should be with his pregnant girlfriend. But that was just a foreshadowing of more nonsense to come. The whole journalism thing didn't make any sense when she thought she was going to bully her boss with tweeting. In Nigeria, sorry, if you now come and start messing with the wrong people, where's the money coming from? Where are you going to get your next piece? Won't somebody just send somebody to talk to you? It's like, I don't know much about how people do corruption, but I feel like cover-ups in terms of deals work a little bit more. They're not this silly. It just felt a little as over complicated and stuffed as this plot was. There was a lot going on that didn't add up. Yeah, I thought the word threesome was being used liberally, especially around the parents in that scene with in the bar when they were discussing the idea. And I thought that scene, the whole scene, I don't know if that's how you would try and break that kind of idea to parents. Surely you would talk to them together after speaking to them separately. The plan did not seem that well thought through anyway. They just said it will work. Why would it work? No one really explained why it would work, just if you're married, if you're married. Okay, that's internal logic of the film. Bovie as a lover boy doesn't work. Like I watched My Village People, but I didn't get time to come to the space about it. But there again, I wasn't buying him as somebody who can really do romance. I kept thinking the whole time the only someone who would have been good for this role is Timini Egbuson, because I remember from Superstar that kind of selfish, greedy, but could do the flirtiness from that kind of behavior could have worked. But I'd never buy what he's doing. Even when he's trying to be gentle, when he's trying to be intimidating, I'm not buying any of it. Yeah. Tade doesn't have any real learning curve, no character arc. So I'm like, so why did she go through any of this? Didn't she marry Chidi in the end? So they lost the money for nothing. The company is bankrupt, but you get your man. So you wasted time. Everybody wasted time. If you people could have communicated, the company could have been saved. What are you going to do? Your family is in ruins. Yeah. To say, as Vanessa said, um, a lot of the films that Sharon has been given. I don't want to name some other people, but there are other people who have been given films like this, and somebody like Dorcas Shola Fatson could really have done something a lot more with this kind of opportunity. But I think a lot of Nollywood right now is suffering from brand name bias. They know if you bring these people, people will watch. I think, especially with like the way Netflix is going, money is not so great for a lot of film studios right now, and they're trying to bank on films people will definitely watch. Whether it's good or not is not necessarily their issue. They just know people will watch it because their faces they recognize and they're going to tick certain boxes. But whether it fulfills the criteria of a good film is a different situation. A lot of it feels like you just chewed it, but it wasn't food. I feel like if this were Hollywood, somebody would say she's like a plant being forced on us. The number of opportunities she's been given and nothing's changed. Yeah.
Thanks, Mariah. Okay, Mel, tell us some of the things you didn't quite appreciate.
I think a number of them have been covered already. Just the what genre it falls under. Is it a rom-com or is it something else? Because if it's a rom-com, then I personally thought that Lottie as the only comedic character or the only avenue for comedic relief was doing a lot of heavy lifting. And then all of the other drama that Oluwakamisi talked about just really detracts away from it being romantic or romance. It's like, what was it? So just, and this is not the first time that we're coming across films and we're going, oh, what genre is it? Because it says it's a parody and then fundamentally fails, or it says it's a crime thriller, but there's neither crime nor thrill or whatever. So maybe that's starting to be a trend. I don't know. The thing about there being no chemistry that Otas referred to, I think it was Otas. I want to take it a step further, just besides like the friendship, like just even with the parents. Zero chemistry between the parents and the kids. Nobody. There was nary a sight of chemistry on my screen. Nothing gets established either. Not their friendship, not the crisis that he's in, not the family dynamic. Because I thought it was very interesting. The way that Oba talks to her, the way that he talks to his wife as well. But I think that's just the mirror of the way that he talks to Tade. Why does Chidi do the things that he does? Because there's zero pushback from Cheta. Why doesn't Cheta ever push back? The first time that Chidi, I think, basically asks Tade out, Cheta is there. It's at some type of dinner for Oba's weddings. So Cheta is there. Cheta is looking at them do this thing, and there is nothing from him, nothing to say, not even a joke to say, oh, this is a little long, nothing. So what's the family dynamic that allows these things to just continue to happen? None of that is established. I didn't like that because it meant that like already the characters were struggling, but then there was just nothing for me as an audience member to hold on to say, oh, this is what explains this, or this is what explains that. There was just nothing there at all. Cynthia talked about the singing scene. I don't agree, Cynthia. I don't agree. And I don't even think I ever got the chance to view it as romantic or as sweet because I was really struggling with I thought that the mic issues were very distracting. They had to sing into the mic, but they kept on forgetting to sing into the mic. And then they also kept on remembering that was very distracting for me. I can't move past that. I think one of my first experiences with the movie was just realizing that people were stumbling over their lines as well. I'm not sure why. Maybe to explain some of the performances, because some of the performances looked like they just read their lines like 5 minutes before the camera started rolling. It felt like something that people were getting used to as I don't know. People stumbling over it happened one too many times. I don't know what that means, but I didn't like that. Um, I think my final thing is just something I've been thinking about for a while, and it would be the way that Nollywood treats the internet. It's always presented as this thing that doesn't make any sense to me. This completely unrealistic, made for fiction thing, and it always feels so strange to me. Why this is an internet that we're all on. I think it's the same way that they treat pigeon as well, but that's for another day. This is an internet we're all on. Why does it feel so strange? Why does it act so strange? Um. So yeah, I think that's it. That's really it from me.
Thanks, Mel. I think I'll echo that issue with the internet. I think Hollywood also has some problems portraying the internet, but like Nollywood and Hollywood, like the Nollywood and Hollywood comparison, usually we're still quite far behind even how bad Hollywood are with portraying the internet. But yeah, agree with that. We'll go Cynthia and then maybe Ayinka and then a Tess. Want to say something?
Okay. Yeah. So for the singing running to your thing, I said they had small friendship vibes, not romance. Small friendship vibes. Okay. Yeah, so Elizabeth spoke about K drama and I was going to say or I'm going to saying that today I watched episode 14 of a K drama and they kissed for the first time. So I've invested 13 hours in this series and that singular kiss made me scream and stand up from my bed. And that's because K drama knows how to do this romance very well to keep me investing 13 hours to see a singular kiss. Okay, so back to the dislike. So almost everyone has said a lot of things. And I'm a biochemist. I'm not into filmmaking, but I always thought that you use split screen when an event is happening simultaneously. So for example, if I'm making a phone call, you're receiving a phone call, it's happening at the same time. So you have a reason to split the screen to show me and the person that is receiving my phone call. Okay, so if I'm also thinking about something, it's abstract, but it's happening at the same time, you can probably split the screen to show something like that. But in this movie, they had so many times they were splitting screen. The fashion runway, I didn't get why they had to split screens into 4 or 5 because I mean it's not happening the same time. It's happening in real time. Okay, we can see it happening. So I don't understand why they were splitting screens a lot. And that was what caused the bad error message that followed them. I think the only time it made sense for them to split screen was when Sharon and Bobby were preparing for their wedding. So probably it was happening at the same time. But you can't show, but you just have to show it by splitting screens. Then secondly, I felt all the actors probably signed a memorandum of understanding that they were all going to read their script because for the most part of the movies, for the most part of this movie, I felt they were all reading their script. And it's fine. I mean, no, it's not fine. But I mean, it's hard to memorize script. So I don't know why. they all chose, most of the time they were reading their script. I don't know why they all chose that. Then because the movie had so many things that were tiring, like splitting screen. Then I also made it worse by giving us a full block screen post. So every time there's a blog post, we see a full screen with a blog post. And yes, I mean, I I just felt like we are tired of so many things. This blog post can be a phone notification, someone on Instagram, or someone checking, or someone typing laptop and meeting the website. We don't have to see a full screen blog post. And can this full screen blog post work? Yes. I mean, if it was a series movie and for every episode, probably there's something interesting that the reporter said, and you give me a full screen blog post to end the episode, I understand. I think that's what they were still doing in this 2 hours movie, but the acting was not good. So giving me a full screen blog post for something that a full notification would have done also pissed me off. Then with the sound and everything, I still think that the only background music that also worked for me was the Running to You. So maybe it's because I like this music. Um calling it every time, but like yeah, it was only Running to You that also worked for me. Then the story. So after I have managed and endured to watch it to the ending. So a lot of things have pissed me off, from the acting, from the splitting of screen every time, from the blog post. Everything have pissed me off, and it was looking like I could bear what is going to happen. It was looking like maybe Sharon might end up with Pere Sheta at the ending. Then I decided to do a twist, and she ended up with Chidi. And I mean, they killed the little forgiveness I was going to have for them with that last twist. And with the reporter caricature everyone is talking about, I also think that maybe rather than putting a reporter caricature in every movie, just make the movie about a reporter revenge so that we know that okay, this reporter have a motive and everybody's trying to adjust or something. And yeah, so that's all. Most of the dislike, or the film is very dislikable and forgettable. So yeah, that's all.
Thanks, Cynthia. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess reporters can't just report, but I guess like if they're going to have this extra motivation where they'll be chasing people to an extent where it seems past what a normal journalist would do, maybe I guess revenge. But whatever they want to do, what they're currently doing now with the journalism is it's failing quite happily. But like, thank you for the putting the my problem with the transition in that editing. You're right. Like it does this thing where it's capturing, it's splitting the screen on unnecessarily, because yeah, they're not doing montages for a lot of the thing, which is what I think some people who were pushing back with when I was talking about the editing. Were saying that it's from the old school. Yeah, old school like rom-coms used to do that, but it's for it would be for editing. But like this is just like, hey, we want to go to the next scene, and you split the screen into like 7 8 different, like why? It feels like somebody who felt like the person paid them too much money, and they needed to make sure that, oh, I edited this thing because like it didn't have any point to it except from being distracting. Who was supposed to be next? I think I think it is you.
Okay, so let's I now I put my thoughts together. So see, I think this movie has failure points from very many places, which communicates in culminates in how really bad this movie is perceived. The reason why I think this movie is interesting. I think it's weird, but it's interesting because I've never seen something like this before. You can romance as a romance genre, it includes so many things. You can be a romantic drama, you can be a tragic romance drama, you could be a tragic something, but the tone and like it's not the mix, it's not like it's one genre. You can always mix genre, right? A lot of Indian movies do this, a lot of Nigerian movies do this, a lot of movies mix genres. There's no problem with it. It's just balancing it out that makes it an issue. And if you don't balance it out very well, it becomes very bad. So from the very fundamental beginnings, the story structure of this movie, right? You've fundamentally written unlikable characters. And not only have you not written unlikable characters, the story of it, right? You have very much given, like, I don't think the writer followed their A to B to C, their D to E. Okay, you're going to combine a political family drama. Political family dramas and rom-coms usually don't mix very well, but you can do it. You can always do anything in art. You just have to balance it out well, right? Okay, you're mixing this very, very something that if you still wanted to do romance, maybe you should have made it a romantic drama. Just make it a romantic drama or a romantic tragedy drama. They can't be together because of this political thing, of this system that is holding us. But that one we've seen. This one, you wanted to make it into a romantic comedy, a romantic something. And everybody is talking about Pretty Woman. Pretty Woman was not supposed to be a romantic drama or romantic comedies because Disney had it and Disney does family thing. Pretty Woman is a thriller. And the fundamentals of Pretty Woman does tell you that it's a thriller, but the tone, the directing, the music, the chemistry, the way they directed the chemistry between the two characters made it seem like it was a romantic comedy, the classic romantic. No, it was the writer wrote it as a thriller, as a romantic thriller. She's kidnapped by this, like she's in the grasp and control of this man, and then they changed it because Disney was not about to do that. Disney was not about to do that, and so um that's why I found it interesting. I was just like, what is this? The political drama, the story was from the very very beginning. Like it's a political drama and a romantic comedy, not a romantic drama, not a something, but a romantic comedy. Ridiculous. The editing was the tone that the editing also gave. Again, this editing style has been cemented in the minds of people who watch movie as like a romantic trope from like very very fluffy straight to DVD romantic comedies, right? Why would you choose this editing style? And even if you wanted to choose this editing style, you should have done it in a different way that doesn't give off this tone. This is the tone. It's giving a light and fluffy tone when serious things are happening. Your characters is unlikable. You said the girl literally comes out in the very beginning and says, I know he likes me, but I don't do anything. And then I went to fall in love with the brother. This is like Netflix romantic teenage something. And these are not teenagers. This is, what's the name of that teenage movie that Netflix did? These are not teenagers. People will dislike this person. People will not give the characters of like, oh, they are young and they don't know what they're doing. Also, even though the acting, yes, the acting's in this, I will give everybody, it's terrible. But acting in movie is fundamentally different from acting in a theater. In a movie, the atmosphere also helps the actor a lot. And at this point, this is where I come to like there's a lot of structural failure that is helping this, that is not making this work. The story itself is a structural failure. The directing, how are you framing your actors? What is the set design of the actor? What is the set design given? What are the dressing given? What is all this? Even the editing, what is the tone? The music, what is this music you're choosing? Why is every single scene, at every single scene, there's a music playing? And sometimes it's pop music. And the person is giving us important information. I am supposed to feel very big pity for this person at this time, at what the dialogue is telling me. But I am listening to some pop music thing that is playing, and I'm like, and the music does not make sense with what's going on scene. Why are you choosing these choices? Even the consistency in characters, right? This girl chose to marry this man, chose to marry this man, okay? She chose it. And then it turns into a story of like, oh, she's doing the sacrifice for her family. Her family wants to, like everybody has mentioned that, right? She's not likable. She's not likable, no, because of the story. And again, whatever. Many stories, if we look at the stories, many romantic comedy, if we look at the stories and the actual actions of romantic people, of what these characters are doing, they are not likable. But then that comes to the magic. It means that the acting has to be on point. Even if they're not that good of an actor. People talked about uncontrollably Blondie. Susie is at that time, at that point, they were not that good of an actor. But guess what? They reshoot. The atmosphere from what the crew is doing, from all that helps Korean dramas a lot. Helps Korean dramas a lot. A lot, a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And you forget whatever is going. They do some magical things. They create something that is magic, right? And it makes people forget all the little plot holes, all the little nonsense, all the little da. This doesn't happen. Even if the actors are bad, and I do think that she's not giving the most. Okay, it's okay she's not giving the most, but you know what? The director should have stopped and be like, give me something better. Everybody seems like they are reading their lines. Everybody has said that, right? It shouldn't be like that. You should have stopped. You should have stopped it and be like, okay, don't look at it. Give me something better. I saw behind the scenes, right, of like this Korean drama, just to say one word. They were doing it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It was like their 13th shot. Do we do like 13 shots on set in Nigeria? I don't know. I'm not on set in Nigeria. I don't know. Do we do that? Just even that one move, and that move, I remember because I watched that drama. That move was like, oh snap! I was just like, oh my god, that looks so beautiful. And just to see the behind the scenes of like, no, they didn't just have that out of nowhere. They were doing it like 25,000 times. Those are the things that like and it's not helping because again, it will make people put it on the actress. Indeed, she's not good. Indeed, most people are not good in that something. But like, if you're putting a shitty product out because this is not about like, oh, we don't have the technology for it. No, this is about you didn't take the time to proofread or proof check what you've done. Like it's such a big issue because not only is there like there's no charisma in this. Not only there's no charisma, the story doesn't make sense because I can't look at like, oh, the charisma or the chemistry or something that I can hold on to that makes me forget all the other little mistakes, all the other mistakes. No, there are so many points of failure that accumulate in this movie being as unlikable and as bad and as ridiculous as it end up being. That I even the fashion, even how she drew, even the fashion, right? The way she dressed in that scene where they wanted to tell everybody the thing, right? The mother and the brother, when the father is going like, I'm going to be against this, where they're going to say that they want to get married and they're going to tell the entire family. Why is she dressed that way? Why is she dressed that way? Even the journalist, right? If you want to write about the journalist can talk about political issues in Nigeria without necessarily having to have our own family issue be the reason why, just because of like that's what a journalist's job is supposed to do. And a lot of
It wasn't needed. No, I'm agreeing with you. It's like it wasn't needed that, and if the way that they tied it was such a stretch. Is that her family did not protect the oil rig enough, so criminals came in and then they destroyed what oil, and then her grandfather's now suffered a loss in wealth, and he now committed suicide. It's like, therefore you have vengeance. It's like, what? So many steps. Why can't you just be a journalist that wants to do your job for this? It's not that
I
crazy.
know.
This
I
is
know.
not,
And
this is not even a lottery that it's like, going deep into like.
I know, and the funny thing is that
uh,
there are a lot of Nigerian journalists that's currently working today that do that kind of stuff, right? They do go into searching and researching about these things, and they don't necessarily need to be independently connected. And it's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous job. It's a very dangerous job. That does happen in real life, but like that's not even the problem. Is just like, even if I think about the political drama that they wrote, I love watching political dramas, right? Because it's even though sometimes it can be quite stupid and quite like something, because it's still, but like it is it is the political drama part of it suffers because, as everybody said, I cannot believe this person that has an oil block within the realities of the politicalness of Nigeria would be able to lose it like that. Like that doesn't work very well, right? You let people see movie making is magic. And in a magic show, you're not supposed to let people see the behind the scenes, right? And once there's so many points of failure that culminates in this very, very bad failure that everybody now sees it, your buttocks is showing. This movie's buttocks is showing.
all right. Okay.
And that's like it's showing, and then it's just so much failure. It's just so much failure at it. But I will say the thing that I found it interesting that I was doing this political drama thing with a romantic comedy tone, and I was just like, I have never really seen this before. And that's interesting. I'm kind of like that's new. It's weird. It's not executed bad that well, but at the same time, I just don't feel that strongly about this movie. It was okay. Yeah, mm. It's not offensive. It's not offensive. It
Okay.
wasn't that. It wasn't. What was the movie? The movie that was so bad I was really offended about. It wasn't. It wasn't too offense. It wasn't like. It wasn't that. So I was just like, okay, whatever. Like it's another throwaway movie.
All right.
It's
Okay.
it's okay.
All right. Thanks, Inka. Atas, you want to say something?
Oh yeah. My last note is that it seems like they forgot what they were doing halfway. So, or not even halfway, towards the end. So at first it's her idea, and her family is deeply against it, and then all of a sudden she's deeply against it. It's her family's idea, and they're like forcing her in the living room that she must continue on with the marriage. And even when she's like, "Oh, why? Who cares?" It's like no one really answers that. It's just like, "Oh, you must continue on with this marriage now, because everyone will know it's fake." And they're like, and so I guess they were just trying to create something for Chidi to save her from. Um, and I don't know, it's supposed to make us like him more that he, without speaking to her, which is a real problem in this movie, is that no one communicates. Without speaking to her, he decides he's just going to jilt her on their, like, I think it's a engagement, whatever party that was. And it's just so, I, I don't know. It just makes it hard to root for anyone in this movie, really, really hard.
All right. Thanks. All right. Mrs. C has decided she has said enough about the film. So I think a lot has been said about the story and plot. So, being and the acting, the arty side of it being bad. So I guess I can say, speak to some of the technical things that I didn't particularly love. I guess before I say that, like, I, I don't, I understand some of the choices that were made. I'm just thinking about the scene where they were doing um, I whatever version of karaoke Bobby was doing, that he called when he called Sharon when he calls Sharon to the mic, and oh, look how lovey dovey and cute this is. The first thing Sharon says is, Oh, I don't know the lyrics like that too. And then straight up start singing everything, even the Yoruba part. Like I was like, why did we put that line in there? There are some things that bug my like. There's something that bother me more than that leaving an offline error inside. I mean, that's high up. But why put that in there and then have her just? I'm just interested in knowing like what the point of that was because they didn't have to have that line in there. Yeah. You know, she comes in there and she goes, oh, "I don't know all the lyrics," and then just goes on to sing it perfectly. Like I stumble through it. No, have some. You know, that would have been really cute actually if she has come on there despite not knowing the lyrics and she's showing gaps. But anyway, that just let me get to some of my more technical issues. All right, so so there's a fight choreography between Bovi and Perry. There's a fight choreography between Bovi and Perry, and that's a joke, right? They were actually, if you look at it well, I promise you, they're tapping each other on the back. That's what they hug each other, and then they just start tapping each other at the back, like, oh my bro. Like I've seen actually harder handshakes from two friends who are meeting each other after a long time. I don't know how. If you don't know how to do a fight, don't do the fight. Like, don't show us the fight. Like, have them like maybe have Bovi charge Perry off screen, and then we can look at the characters going, "Oh my God, what are they doing?" Don't show us Bovi and Perry hugging each other, and that's crazy to me. That you saw that you're like, hey, sure, let's put it in. Let's put it in. There's so many other ways. Getting very close, shake to the camera so we don't know what's going on. It's just weird that you do a wide shot of these people hugging each other and you looked at that thing and you went, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, let's put it in. All right. So again, there are small things in here that it just boggles my mind. Like, why did you make that choice? So during the interview, when Bovi and Sharon decide to get together again, there's a wide shot from our point of view, and you see the camera. You see someone on a tripod recording the interview. Now, you see this interview later on screen through Perez. I can't remember. I didn't care about his name. Perez watching the film, the interview. Sorry, on TV, but you're seeing it through our point of view, where you're seeing somebody recording the interview, and I'm thinking, why would you put that shot? Why would you use? I mean, like you had a DSLR, right? Maybe there was no battery inside, but like you have camera like already set up for that interview. Why not just record that and put that on? I know, like given what this film does, like this seems like of course they would mess that up if you're gonna leave offline errors in your film. Of course, you're not gonna remember to just like record something and put it on. But like these things are the things that bother my mind apparently. And I would just say like the editing generally is quite bad. I think I've said a lot about the transitions. I think there are also just, I think there's a jump from one scene to the other and it cuts into the middle of a conversation. Again, use a crossfade if you're an editor listening to this, so that we don't hear popping sounds. It's just weird to be giving. This is your job. You do this I should not be, not me. I'm an idiot. I just do YouTube videos. I should not be able to tell you like, hey, maybe don't, use a crossfade when you're editing audios from different things. But anyway, I think there's, yeah. Anyway, that's my bad. I think everybody has said a lot about all of the problems. So let's wrap this up and do the summary and get out of here. I haven't done this movie yet for Nolly Data. I will do it by this evening. There are anonymous reviews are coming to Nolly Data, so stay tuned. I think that is something that some people have been calling out for, and we've heard you. We will get to it. But meanwhile, if you just want to leave a space and just review it, I don't know if that would work. I don't know if there's a limitation character. It'll be up by this evening. Okay. What summaries? All right. So, Atas, you want to give us your general summary of The Perfect Arrangement?
Yeah. So I didn't find it very painful. Like, it was easy enough to watch, and yeah, it was good enough. I guess if you just ignore the plot holes and ignore the lack of chemistry and ignore the terrible story, and it's not a terrible movie.
Thanks. Yeah, I guess the acting was okay. Do you think? Probably not. All right, Vanessa, what did you think overall? Oh, what happened to your audio? Giving Nollywood vibes. Let's see again. Did you change how you do your? Did you put a headphone on? Did you change something?
Oh wait, so the headphone has been on since morning.
Okay, all right. I think I hear you.
Is it better now?
It's better now. Yeah.
Wahala. I'm hurt. They should not do it again. If they do it again, I'll fight. I would. I know this is a tall ask, but I would genuinely prefer if Nollywood paused on the romance/rom-com films until they fully get a grasp on the genre and all the tropes that lie therein, and the ways to approach this with a respect for the genre while still trying to do new things. Otherwise, they should pocket it and explore other genres of film. But yeah, I don't know if I want to recommend this to anybody to watch, because I don't want you to feel the pain that I felt. So yeah, they should not do it again. That's my general summary. Don't do it again.
That's Vanessa. Strong advice. Mel, what's your overall thoughts of Perfect Arrangement?
I don't hate it. I wasn't frustrated by it the way that I have been with other films, and that's the truth. I found it an easy watch. So maybe that should have gone into my good. But I also thought that the entire plot was contrived. There were no motivations, things weren't established. I did not understand why things were happening, sometimes even how they were happening. I don't think it established any rules for anything. I thought it was just the entire thing was contrived, but I also found it to be an easy watch. So that's my summary.
Thanks, Mel. Cynthia?
Oh yeah, so in summary, I didn't like it as a romance fan, and I also think that the next time Nollywood is going to give a reporter a motivation at the middle of the film, rather than giving this reporter a motivation that that's not going to add anything because you have decided to make a romance or another kind of movie, just make a reporter revenge story from beginning so that we can bear and understand why this reporter is moving up and down. And yeah, so that's it.
Nice. I just remember the one time we did do a reporter story in Oloture. We still don't really give her motivation until she gets sexually assaulted in the middle, which, yeah. Anyway, it's a different story for another day. Anika, general summary of this.
My general summary of this is that I give them props for I don't what are props for, I guess, trying to do a political drama and a romantic comedy, but it's not the execution. I feel was not that well. I felt was not that good. So on a Sunday afternoon, If you want to watch something that you're not paying that much attention to, um, I guess you could watch it. But frankly, I would say maybe just watch a romantic comedy, a fluffy romantic comedy, like one of those straight to DVDs romantic comedy. What's what's the name of that Netflix thing with the young girl, Kissing Booth? You're better off maybe watching the Kissing Booth or Tall Girl. But if you don't want to do that, you can also watch this one.
Thanks, Anika. All right, Mariah, what's your overall thoughts?
Not really worth the watch. Over complicated. None of the romance really is well executed. None of it is earned. You don't have anyone that you want to see succeed. So it's not an enjoyable watch, and it's not something I'll be rewatching.
All right, thanks, Mariah. Mrs. C?
Same. I won't be rewatching. I don't even think I can recommend. I didn't like any of the leads. I think a lot of things were lost in the telling of the story and in this final product, and it was too inconsistent. The characterizations were too inconsistent. They were unlikable, and it just didn't work for me. It was quite offensive, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I thought this. I think a lot of times in the first 5 minutes of a film, I can tell whether this is going to be good or worth my time. I think this was a record where I was like, the first 10 seconds, I was like, no, this is not going anywhere good. Where she does this narration where over this really weird graphics. So there's a record time. I knew this was not going to be for me. I'm not generally a rom-com guy, to be fair. It's not like I'm against them, but it's not generally my thing. So you can imagine my pain, given even what some rom-com people who have enjoyed this have said. I hope to see Miss DSF in more things. But like, yes, this one sounds pretty bad. So, but yeah, that would be it for this. I'm so glad to close the chapter on this. Next week, I think we're doing Locked, which has Omotola, who has not been. Well, we'll see. She's a veteran. She's a legend. Let's see what happens. I think Locked has a lot of people in it actually, and Eddie, who was on here not long ago, said it was good, but I take his words with a pinch of salt. After Locked, I think we have a back-to-back of films I'm actually looking forward to locate in Dwindle and The Bad Guy, once done by Dare and Kayode. And Razga is written by Mr. Oko. So I'm very much looking forward to those two. I don't know anything about Locked. We'll see how it goes, but we'll talk about it next Sunday. And look out for some news about Nolly Data coming up and how we can formalize our reviewing thing. Because I really would like a nice good temperature test, because I know every week when we come on here, around the same 10 of us are the ones talking, but I'm interested in what the rest of the people who listen to us think, and it'd be good to have a temperature test. Maybe I should be doing a poll whether we thought it was good, bad, or indifferent. Maybe I'll do that. All right, but thanks everybody. We'll talk about see you next week for Locked. What's it called? Something like that. I don't know what the name of the film is. I'll post it on. But thanks guys, and see you next week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at Iroko Critic and join us every Sunday 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.